The paper we're diving into today is Toward the Foundations of a General Theory of Mind, Formalizing Detection, Correspondence, and Self-Correspondence in Inscriptional Materialism by Joey Lawson.
Yeah, it's got a pretty hefty title, but it's kind of fascinating, right? Lawson's basically challenging how we usually think about consciousness, not just as something that happens in brains, but as this more fundamental organizational thing.
Exactly. The central problem it tackles is, what is consciousness anyway? And where does it come from? Most theories lock onto brains, neurons, subjective feeling, but Lawson's saying, wait, maybe it's all about the way a system can detect differences and then match or correspond those differences to something else.
Right, so instead of wondering if an AI or a plant is conscious because it acts kind of smart, Lawson asks, does it detect something, keep a record, what he calls an inscription, and then connect that record with another? If so, that's consciousness. It's actually sort of a relief just to have consciousness mean something other than just being human.
So, big picture, he lays out these 3 steps. Detection leads to awareness, correspondence leads to consciousness, and self-correspondence leads to self-consciousness. He calls this the fundamental inscriptional triad. Think of awareness as noticing something happen. Consciousness is when you connect one thing you noticed to something else, like a pattern, a comparison, even a memory. And then self-consciousness is when you realize, oh, these patterns are about me.
Honestly, I love how Lawson pushes back against what he calls neural chauvinism, this idea that only brains can be conscious. He draws examples from plants, slime molds, even computational systems like AIs. Basically, if they can form correspondences, he says they're conscious at some level.
And it's all about inscriptions, right? An inscription is any persistent change. Could be a chemical tweak in a cell, a neural memory, a written symbol, even a change in a machine's storage. What matters is that something registers and holds onto a difference from its environment.
Which is pretty wild when you think about even, say, a thermostat. Is your smart thermostat a little bit conscious? Not self-conscious, but it detects temperature, stores a value, and then acts on that info. It corresponds the current temp with a setting, right?
Yeah, and Lawson would say that's on the spectrum. It might be the lowest rung, but it's still on that cognitive ladder. Actually, that makes me wonder, if I set my phone reminders and forget about them, but my phone remembers for me, does that mean we're kind of sharing consciousness? Or maybe not. That's probably a tangent.
That's the sort of thing this framework invites, though. It blurs the line between biological and artificial, individual and collective. Lawson talks about the 3 ages of mind: aneural, no nerves; neural, brains, animals; and exoneural, tech, writing, collective intelligence. All of these build on the same inscription correspondence process.
For the listener, what this changes is, you don't have to see consciousness as this totally mysterious inner magic. If you accept that cognition is just organized difference and matching, it kind of democratizes the concept. It means even everyday stuff, plants sensing light, or your computer tagging photos, might count as a meaningful piece of this bigger puzzle.
And as a final thought, Lawson isn't saying this is the last word. Academic research is never absolute truth. He's giving us a new lens. Maybe it's not perfect, but it gets us out of the brain-only trap and lets us actually compare minds across nature, machines, even cultures.
So if you've ever wondered what it really means for a plant, a pet, or a piece of software to know something, this framework gives you a way to start answering that, or at least asking better questions.
And if nothing else, it'll make you look at a creeping vine or your phone's to-do list with a little more, inscriptional respect. Anyway, that's about as much as we can cram into one chat.
Agreed. Thanks for sparking up the correspondence with me. Till next time!